Hello, I'm Carol Marcy. The words on this video have come from experiences I have had while going on forest bathing walks on Cape Cod. I love doing this walk as a meditation practice, which has brought me and others closer to and so much more deeply connected to nature. She has taught us to understand ourselves as one entire living being, not separate, but very interdependent. I encourage you to go outside if you can, walk a woodland trail slowly with breath, or sit under a tree in your backyard, paying attention to your internal experience as well as the experiences your senses bring to you. If you can't go outside in your neighborhood or local park, watch videos of nature. Enjoy the pictures on this video that were taken by Jerry Beetham as he explored the nooks and crannies of wild spaces on Cape Cod. Breathe deeply, quietly listening to the beautiful piano music created and played by Gary Breeds. At the end of this video, you will find a series of ways that you can partner with nature. Please join me now on this journey into the forest, resting comfortably and taking in some nice, long, deep breaths of air. I invite you to let the words, pictures, and sounds heighten your heart's awareness and love for your connection to all of life. Enjoy. Gray, upright bones connecting earth and sky. Huge stones anchor stillness. Green pines whisper silently. A sleepy forest giant beckons. Sit with me. Listen to my breath. Know that I am alive in you. Sing the light of creation, of beauty, of joy, of passion, of pain, of life fully lived, of a heart flowing open, streaming sweet melodies of truth, listening, singing endlessly. Entering the forest slowly, breath flushes distractions, bringing with it a heart-centered focus. Opening the heart to the surrounding beauty, I call out to nature and her handmaidens, the spirits of this place. I come to you in peace and beauty, opening and inviting connection in gratitude to the glory of creation here, to the living being of the forest. Slowly, feet connect with earth underneath a body's weight. The temperature and texture of that foot-felt embrace, gliding, balancing, connecting through movement. Knees follow suit, bending, allowing a steadiness of gait. Hips join in with a swinging movement. The breath rises up from the belly, freeing the spine to respond to the subtle dance of slowly walking forward. As the breath moves into the chest, heart opens rhythmically, calling out, reaching out its ever-expanding message of love and acceptance. Arms swing gently, joining the chorus of a body in motion. Neck, balancing head, opens up the senses to the surroundings. Breathing deeply, smells yield a hint of moist, earthy loam, followed by a taste of pine, bringing with it a feeling of calmness. The soft crunching of pine needles and oak leaves underfoot bring forth a chorus of shifting sounds to which birds add their sweet notes. Eyes are soft, taking in the gray and brown textures of trunks, the tangle of huckleberry and wintergreen. Buds are swelling red on each branch tip. Most of all, the whole body is alive with energy, energy extending from within, meeting the energy of the whole forest. This living being welcomes, inviting, enveloping, loving, gradually becoming part of this wholeness. Body boundaries dissolve. What is inner is also outer. What is outer is also inner. We are moving, living, dancing, walking, swaying, breathing as one huge loving being of light and beauty. We move like this for a long time, endlessly communing, a rustle, a breath, a breeze, a love, a warm and dappled light. Gradually, balance gives way, shifting and changing, moving this way and that, feeling so full, so drunk with the beauty and radiant bliss of this moment, like a hawk, inviting the possibility to soar endlessly. Gloriously, light fills up everything. Awareness is less and less of form, becoming so much less of an individual and so much more of a wholeness. Love is everywhere, sustaining all of life in this moment. There is nothing but totality, an immense experience of connectedness, an energetic primordial soup. Gradually, differentiation returns. The body takes up space with weightedness. The trees, forest floor, and tangle of life emerge. Songs return. The sunlight is warm and inviting. Arms stretch upward to the clarity of blue sky, filling with gratitude for the vast immensity of space and mystery. Touching the earth with the palms of hands, fingers feel the cool, soft earth. Leaning against a large oak whose arms reach outward in wonderment, carrying the heavy weight of branches. The texture of bark and the inner life of the tree, which is streaming up and down, becomes amazingly apparent. Energy is rooted in the dark folds of earth and rock, grateful for their solidity of support and base, grateful for the vast life bursting forth from nature's glorious body, reaching for the light, opening out into the world of forest life with the assurance of innocence and newness. Leaving this forest, singing nature's praises, knowing that something has shifted deep inside, I thank her and all of the spirits that find their home here for welcoming us into their world of beauty, radiant life, and oneness. Sailing on a sea of luminosity, taken by wind and light, guided by unknown forces, tuned in to the depth of ocean, to the blue envelope of sky, to the vast energy of a spinning galaxy. The wind is at my back, propels me forward in unknown directions. The heart is at the helm, sailing on a luminous sea. A sea of air, of gravitational weightedness, a sea of green, a multitude of sounds, textures, smells, a sea of energy and life, connecting, thriving, moving through cycles of life and death. Many strands in an immensely intricate web, mutually supporting life's aliveness. The air is crisp and clear despite the warm rays of sun that cut through the bare gray bones of trees in early spring. This is a young forest, for it is said that the man who once lived here could see the bay from his house, overlooking cascading meadows down to the sea. The contours of land were clear, the craggy places open to be seen, the twists and turns of the hillside revealed large boulders here and there, dumped on these sandy shores thousands of years ago by a mile-high glacier. Chunks of ice dropped with such a force that ponds and lakes formed in the indentations, filling with glacial melt. The boulders carried here from far-off places were dropped too, or perhaps gently placed as ice gave way to water in the warming times. Young settlers saw forests filled with huge trees of many shapes and sizes. Industriously, they cut them down for boats, for houses and barns, for winter heat. It is said that they burned 26 cord of wood a winter to stay warm in their drafty houses. A lot of trees met that need, especially as settlements grew. At one point, there was nothing left but sand. The loam and rich ancient forest floor was gone. Without foresight, they had used it all up. Farms were abandoned for lack of feed for cattle. Sand did not sustain a farm. When the winds blew hard, the sand piled up in the harbors. Fishing boats were compromised by shallower waters and overfished seas. Cape Cod is on its third forest. A miracle of trees come to reclaim the land. The pitch pine is one of the first to root down gradually, making a more harmonious and habitable bed for others to follow. Today, looking through this amazing young forest, mostly of oak and pitch pine, and an occasional white pine or family of beech. How does it happen? All of these trees, the oaks in particular, look to be maybe 30 or 40 years old. How did they come to be here, all at around the same time? It certainly doesn't look like anyone went out and planted thousands of them. The occasional holly or special spruce or rhododendron definitely has the air of special placement. A loving hand who decided what and where to dig the hole to place a chosen one. These special ones have birthed a few children who've grown up around the mother tree, still young and new and fresh, but not thousands or more of oak. Looking out through this sea of gray oak tree bones, much gratitude arises for what looks like a miracle of birth, a huge forest which now secrets the bay from view. Moving attention from the forest to a boulder nearby, hands are placed gently on its crusty surface, leaning over to look even more closely. There is an amazing array of texture and shades of gray. At least 3, if not 4, different kinds of lichen decorate its surface, while an occasional space opens up to reveal the subtle pinks, whites, and grays of granite. Each of these patches of color and texture weave a beautiful tapestry covering the entire surface of this rock. Shifting attention to a deeper awareness of stone, partially embedded in earth, hands feel down into its solidity. Housed in earth, these rocks are the bones of the earth, helping to hold her shape, providing contour and lifting her skyward into ridges, hills, and mountains. Touching the upper surface of this boulder gives commerce to the deeper, hidden life. Sensing ancient times of being dug out of some place in Maine, this boulder traveled slowly, high on a mountain of ice, and was dropped here as the glacier retreated. Resting on its sloping side, lulled into a deep and dreamy place by the cool depths of its being, a calming silence fills everything. What opens the heart? A deep glance of friendship, a deep well of beauty, sometimes hidden under layers of refuse and pain and anger. Keep the heart open. Don't run away. Breathe. Stay present. Lovingly unleash the heart fire, spilling into the world many colored rays of light, beautifying, enlightening all that is with loving presence, smiling. Coming closer to a beech tree at the edge of the trail, it is apparent that the tree is a member of a small community of beeches, forming a circle of sacred space. Looking closely at the surface of this particular tree, within the vast smoothness of the bark, there is an incredible design of shades of grays, black, and browns. This design is intricately outlined in black, housing different textures within each segment. It looks like a map of some far-off land or universe. There's also a bright green circle of lichen, which adds more texture, color, and vibrancy to the design. Taking in some deep breaths of air, getting a sense of rootedness into the dark, moist earth, it feels as if there is a joining with this family, combining roots, energy, and stability. Only after asking permission of this beech, our hands gently laid on its bark, settling into full presence with the tree and its family. Quieting down is not so easy, for the mind starts wandering, describing a fantasy of this experience, making up things along the way. Stop. Come back to this experience. What is happening right now? Breathing deeply returns the focus and connection to earth and tree. There is a slight sensation of movement. What is causing it? Is it the movement of the tree in the wind, or the sap undulating up the cambium or inner bark? Noticing that there is an internal physical response to this movement releases the need to name it. Shifting attention to these subtle undulations in the body, a strong surge of energy causes abrupt shaking. Gradually letting go, sinking deeply into a quieter inner focus, reveals a sense that we are joining as one. The broader energy changes to a finer vibration, settling down into silence. Feet are deeply rooted and connected with the family of beech trees. A growing awareness of a strong tugging at the crown of the head feels as if it is opening. The sensation is one of elongation, like Alice in Wonderland, becoming taller and taller. Still rooted and beginning to feel very tree-like, the trunk reaches up to the overcast sky. The gentle swaying feels more organic. We are in this together. The sensation becomes more filled with light. We are a very tall shaft of tree light connecting earth and sky. Silently staying present with awareness, this experience deepens. We are a very tall shaft of tree light connecting earth and sky. Silently staying present with awareness, this experience deepens. After resting in this elongated shaft of light for quite a while, the decision is made to move on. The sensation, however, remains while walking slowly down the trail. The crown of the head continues to be very activated, like the Ent, the forest of tree beings from Lord of the Rings, who could move across the land. Tree roots are heavy, while being lifted upward and forward by the tree crown. Slowly moving down the path, this sensation gradually dissipates and separateness returns. Much gratitude fills the heart for the tree and the tree family for this amazing experience. Sitting quietly under an ancient oak, beside a stream of liquid crystal, listening to the sounds of forest life, soaking them in until we become one. The world falls silent, transformed overnight, hunkered down, shaking the human world to its core. Fear is rampant, providing the current for worldwide connection. Are we being asked to consider ourselves as one living being, connected? Fiercely, nature demands attention, raising her hand to be heard above the human storm. She is compellingly beautiful, revealing crystal clear blue skies, earth bursting forth with new life, accompanied by spring songs of birds and peepers, colorful joy and sweet scented delights. On what do we choose to focus? Partner with nature or with death and doom? She teaches us to pay attention to the small, insignificant doorways to beauty, to the broad strokes of vast heavenly blue, to walk slowly with breath, with awareness, recognizing our loving connectedness to the totality of all of life. Do we continue to discard and destroy her as we discard and destroy ourselves? Or do we recognize our teacher, nature, who engages our senses, inviting us to be as one, to play, to be creative, to invent, to love, to work together consciously, to birth a radically new vision of life. She asks us, will you join with me in this dance called life, with love for all living beings? Take your time, becoming aware of your body in this moment. Feel the breath moving in and out. Sense the energy of your heart opening to the present. You might want to wiggle your toes and fingers, or move your shoulders and head. When you are ready, please take a look at the list of activities and consider choosing some new ways to partner with nature. Thank you so much for joining us on this woodland journey.